2023 ended with wholesome friend gatherings as well as a lot of family time. I hope your 2023 year-end was peaceful as well. Okay. Happy New Year, happy 2024. This year has a lot of changes in store for me, and I wanted to give you a little update. The biggest update that I have is that I left my job. Not only my job, but my career. Yeah. Let me backtrack a little bit. I started this YouTube channel July of 2023, and it's because I took a 3-month leave from work. And during that leave, I really started to question a lot of things. I think I'd already been questioning for some time about happiness, fulfillment, joy, but that leave really brought those questions to the forefront. And during that time, I started this channel. I wanted to channel all of my thoughts into a creative outlet, and this was awesome. I went back to work in October, and I really wanted to see how I would be at work. Would I be happy? Could I implement some changes, some boundaries so I could have work-life balance so that I felt more fulfilled? And after 3 months back at work, I really thought hard and decided that my path just wasn't at that job anymore. That was a really big decision for me. If I just contextualize it a little bit, I am an immigrant. My parents brought us to America from Colombia with the American dream. Since I was very little, I internalized that sacrifice. The reality is that as someone very little and young, you do realize the sacrifice that your parents made for you, how difficult it was, but it was all for you and my sister. I carried that weight on my shoulder that I needed to live out my potential so that all of my parents' sacrifice was worth it. So I got straight A's. I was at the top of my class. I received accolades and awards, and I went to a really great college. And from that college, I started at a fantastic job. Went to work at JP Morgan. Wow, like I made it. My parents were so happy. I was so happy. But in actuality, I didn't end up liking that job for multiple reasons that maybe I can go in on any single day. I wanted to change it up, and I ended up at Google. I was enamored, totally loved it. The years went on, and I just felt like I was at the top of the career game. I felt recognized and validated, and yet I wasn't happy, and I couldn't wait until retirement so that I could do what I wanted. I think I tried to fill the void of lack of fulfillment with spending. With a good job comes a good salary, and you can afford to travel, you can afford fancy restaurants, you can afford clothing whenever you want, how much of it you want. I was trying to fill a void, but at the end of the day, I was quite unhappy. And that's when I started working with a therapist, realized I actually do struggle with depression and anxiety. I wanted to come to terms with how to better manage it. And in that process of learning how to better manage depression, I realized I have to change my life. And it took me a long time to realize that, and it wasn't until I took my leave from work that I really started to see the changes I had to implement. And I thought that the change could be going back to Google, implementing some boundaries, not becoming so stressed, not striving for perfectionism. But when I did go back to work in October and I tried implementing these boundaries, there was still something tugging at me. And ultimately I just listened to it. Had a really great conversation with my manager where I was just like, I think I need to do something else with my life. I gave my 2 weeks notice in mid-December, and I said goodbye. So starting 2024, I am self-employed. And no, I don't earn yet in my self-employment, but I will eventually. And I'm gonna figure out how to earn out of things that do fulfill me. Yeah, I wanna share with you the 4-ish things that I'm gonna work on in 2024 and bring you along with this channel. One being photography, videography, editing, all of this world of creative digital media. I love it. Truly love it. I have loved this channel. The second thing that I'm going to be focusing a lot on is food. not just eating food, but understanding food and how it nourishes me. So on my channel, I've done a lot of cooking, trying to learn how to cook. I'm still not a great cook, but for me, food goes way beyond knowing how to cook it well. It's eating the right things so that my body can feel the best possible. The other third of 4 pillars is health, connected to food, but specifically physical, mental, spiritual health, which encompasses so much. Meditating, a good proper skincare routine, from good healthy food that can influence a healthy microbiome in your gut, exercise, weightlifting, to really take care of my mind, my body, and my soul. As cheesy as that sounds, those 3 things are super important. And then lastly, travel is something that is very important to both Luke and me. In a previous video, I had shared that we do want to start a family sometime in the future, maybe 2 years from now, something like that. And part of getting there is going to be traveling. I'm gonna bring you along to everywhere we go, domestic and international. Yeah, so those are gonna be the 4 things that I'm going to be focusing on this year. I will film in all of those categories. So look out for those if you're at all interested. And I did just want to say a massive, genuine thank you from the bottom of my heart to my husband, Luke, who has been so supportive, so incredibly supportive, as I have brought to him over time my thoughts, my anxieties, my concerns, my emptiness, my dreams, my aspirations, my goals, and he has been beside me through it all, saying, you gotta do what you gotta do. If I needed to quit and leave my successful job and totally change my life, then he was okay with that. Oh. It's an emotional thing because I know that he has had to put aside some of his dreams and goals. Like, we're probably not going to be financially ready for having kids sooner because I have to figure out my career, and that's a huge sacrifice. Finances affect everything from being able to do certain things that are things that he wants to do, and it just delays a lot of our life goals. And he's been very supportive and been okay with that as long as we are prioritizing my well-being and our marriage well-being. So truly a huge thank you to you, Luke. So let's shake that off, and I'm gonna take you along this year without knowing where the outcome will be, not striving for perfect, but striving for just doing, exploring, and experiencing. But I am definitely going to be posting videos in those different like content categories that I was talking about, and I'll set up a better cadence schedule since this is what I want to do. This is my focus. Thank you for hearing me out. If you stayed through all of that, you're a champ. But let's get going on the rest of this video. So I started a book club, but hilariously, the book that we chose for the first month has really weird chapters, so I can't tell my book club until what chapter to read to for the first week. So I'm gonna rush over to the library. I don't know whose bag this is, probably a friend's. I need to go pick up at the laundromat. Oh, it is really coming down. Do I go or stay? I think it's actually crossed the threshold of I stay for sure. Whew. I am diving deep into reading and reading fantasy. I think a lot of people can relate when I say that. I used to love reading as a kid, dropped it kind of through college, and then trying to pick up books again as an adult, the spark was missing. And it just didn't do what like Harry Potter would do to me. My sister happens to also be like a very voracious reader, and she recommended Fourth Wing. And I was like, you know what? This sounds like romance. I'm not that interested. I am interested in fantasy, but not romance. And anyway, she talked about it so much, Zaden Daddy, that I finally was like, okay, I'll just read it so I can talk to you about it and understand what the heck you're saying to me. I devoured it. I have like several mixed opinions about it, but I did devour it, and then I went on to book 2, read that one faster than the first one, and now I'm freaking hooked. Hey Huck, be calm, buddy. And I'm so into it. I am gonna start reading A Court of Thorn and Roses literally tonight, and I am so excited. Good morning. I just came back from a Pure Barre class. I have really liked combining cycling and Pure Barre. I think that has given me amazing results. I started book 1 of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, and I'm excited. I'm excited to keep doing that. So, okay, I'm gonna wrap this video up as my first week back into 2024 filming and editing. I have so much planned for this year, mostly planned out this month, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.